Hi everyone, for this month, Jennifer from Scrapbooks and Memories her prompt for the month was spring, and it is hashtag ephemera madness 24. So, which one did I put it in? I got a couple of art journals going on. I think I got it in this one. I think it was my very first page. Yeah. So, I did spring. These stickers were all from a paper pack from Hobby Lobby a while back. In the background, I did yellow, blue, and pink. And then you can't tell really in the camera, but all up here is a light green because the yellow blended in with the blue over here, so it made a green. And the colors that I used for this background are spun sugar, tumbled glass, and squeezed lemonade. And I didn't bother getting a light green out because there's already light green all in here. It's too bad that you can't tell, but it's there. And then I had these die cuts that I made. They're layering pieces. So there's like a baby blue in the background with this. This was part of the paper pack, and that, it was the pack you get at Hobby Lobby. They were all different themes, and then like $5.99 or $6.99. Got it on clearance for like I think maybe $1.99 or around $2. The only thing about those packs though is I got a few of them, and the paper is really, really thin. I mean, really thin. So that's really aggravating to me, but the kit was cute. So it came with these stickers, so I just kind of just put them all around, and some bouquets around here. And the butterflies, and then the die cuts that I did. And I've shown you this paper before. It's stone paper. Didn't go to the other side. It's very thick. It will not tear. And I also got some water after I was done blending all the colors in. And I just, I was at work, so I didn't have my little spray bottle. So I elegantly put some in a cup and just went like this and did that all over my page. And then I took some paper towel and I just blotted it. And you can see that's all. You can see a little bit right here, but it's, in person, you can see it a lot. You can see how the color picked up a lot. And if you haven't worked with these distress oxides before, you can go over and over. Let's say I did this and I splashed some water. Let's say I wanted it more drastic. You can put more water. You can keep putting water until it's the effect that you want. And then let's say you went a little too light and you want to go darker. You can just keep going right over all the water you've done. It's like you're starting fresh on a new slate. And you just put all the colors down. Do it again with the water. See how that is. If you don't like that, you can go back in, add more color, and just keep doing it over and over and over until you get the result that you want. When I have done this inking technique, I pretty much got the desired effect right away, so I didn't have to keep putting layers and layers and layers on. I achieved what I wanted very quickly, but sometimes you want something very drastic and you're doing a particular craft. So with this paper, you can just keep plopping it all on. Nothing's going to happen. It is not going to transfer to the other side. And I think maybe what I'll do in a video coming up is I might demonstrate that for you. I might, get some deeper colors because, these are all pastel for spring. I might just get some deeper colors and keep doing it and showing you. Because if you've done a page and you're not happy with it, that doesn't mean it's the end. You just keep reapplying these oxides. This brand, the oxide is meant for blending. You can stamp with them, but you're not going to get a nice crisp image like you would with dye inks. So these were really made for blending. They blend beautifully. So that's really what they're made for. I would stick with dye inks if you're going to be stamping. Use dye inks. Except if you're going to use VersaFine Clear. And I've mentioned that before. Let me just get a quick one to show you. I do not like pigment inks because they take forever to dry. The Distress Oxides this is a mix between a dye and a pigment. Now, VersaFine Clear, this is a pigment. And I don't like pigments because that's not going to do anything. I don't like pigments because they take forever to dry. But look at this. Look at that. It didn't smudge at all. It's not even on my hand. That is amazing. So you could even stamp with VersaFine Clear inks because I don't know what they put in these inks. They do not smudge. Let me show you an example. Let me get you a pigment ink and I'll show you the difference. Let's see. I only have one, and that's Gina K. It's the white ink, because when I first started out, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was buying all these kind of inks and all these things, and I didn't know what was going on. And I had to learn. Okay, here's a perfect example. Now, what can I put this on so that you'll see it? Let me get some cardstock, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I didn't know this was going to be a lesson today, guys, but if you're really wondering about the inks, you'll appreciate this video. So let me just I'll get a piece of scrap so that you can see what I mean. Okay. So like I said, you get this ink, you put it down. Look at that. No smudge. And it's pigment. No smudge. It's not on my hands. Okay? If you're going to go with pigment, go with the VersaFine Clear. This is premium pigment ink from Gina K. Now, it's not just Gina K. Any pigment ink is going to be like this, where it sits on top of the paper. Now, I'm going to show you hers. See? Now, watch. Ew. See? It just doesn't dry. See how it's smudging? And look, it's on my hands. This is why I hate pigment ink. I refuse to use it, okay? The only time I like using this ink is when I'm stamping on craft. So what you would do is you get your craft paper. Actually, doesn't even have to be craft. It shows up really well on craft. But let's say you want to do an image where it's a shadow. You would get a piece of paper. You could also get your craft ink. Put it down. And then ink your stamp with some pigment ink and just put it a little bit to the left or the right and stamp again. And you'll have a shadowed look. That is the only time I will use this ink. All right, I'll show you one more time. I'll even put tons on. How's that? I'll put a ton of this green. Okay, ton of it. It's not going anywhere. You know, I mean, wow, I had the white on, so now it did come up a little bit. See? No smudges. But then you got this. See the difference? See the difference how the pigment's very creamy. It's sitting on top of the paper. That's the kind of ink it takes, a long time for it to dry, where dye ink goes right into the paper. This sits on top of the paper. But for whatever reason, I don't know what ingredients are in the VersaFine Clear line. I don't know. It doesn't do that, okay? As long as the paper's not glossy. If the paper is glossy, if it's very shiny, this will not work. It will go all over the place. So if you're looking for a pigment ink that you don't have to wait to dry all night, use this brand, okay? And that's that's about it. I really didn't think I was going to go into a little ink lesson today, but I did. And I hope it's helpful for some of you, especially some that are not really too familiar with the inks and how they work and all of that. So I hope I was some help to you. If you have any questions or if you'd like to see any particular videos on that kind of thing, let me know. Thanks for watching. Happy crafting, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.